flint blade like this and scrape the tinder until you get like a mass of cotton wool-like fibres. The next job is to strike the spark onto the tinder, and this isn't easy, and the sparks are very small and very few and far between, so it takes normally a few minutes. Normally when I make fire it's straightforward, but this is different. It takes some perseverance. Of course, eventually one lands in the right place and the tinder catches light like this. Take another piece of this fungus, which I will ignite now from this little piece here. Just blow on that. Burns very hot. And I put that in there while I can just about hold it. It's getting very hot now. And now there we have flame. One of the key things about primitive arrows is accuracy, and accuracy is very much a function of straightness. And that doesn't look too bad, but actually when you look down it you can see it's all higgledy-piggledy waves all over the shop. And the process is to heat the arrow shaft over the fire and then to straighten out the areas where it's bent. This one was just the same as the last one a few minutes ago, and gradually now I'm starting to straighten it out. And then once it's straight, I want to dry these stems off, and then I can scrape them down a little bit more and then sand them. It's a lot of work, but well worth it. Sitting here getting to grips with these Stone Age techniques makes me realise how resourceful our ancestors were. The forest was both their DIY store and their supermarket. This little plant down here is celandine, and this, strangely enough, is a plant that we do know from the archaeological record was used for food by our ancestors. And it's an easy plant to dig up, which is its great advantage. And that's the bit we eat, that little root there. Doesn't look like very much, but when you consider how easy it is to collect a whole load of them, it makes a good food. And I thought, well, Chris was looking a little tired there working with those stone tools. Maybe he'd like to try a snack from the Stone Age. And you bake them in a scrape under the fire for a few minutes. That should be long enough, I reckon. Break some of this out. What I've done is I've cooked these roots in the ash, and the ash helps to exclude oxygen and helps to prevent them from burning. Have a quick look. They must be cooked because these are members of the buttercup family, which are poisonous if they're eaten raw. There we go. When they're cooked you can peel them really easily, and you can see there they're full of starch, that white centre. Soft and delicious. They taste a bit like sweet potato. Very, very nice. Grubs up, Chris! These roots, Chris, are a seasonal delicacy, and if the original bowyer who made the Ashcott Heath bow had been making them at this time of year, this might well have been what he ate to keep his energy going while he was building it.
Just straight in?
I can eat that. I can eat the skin as well. What do you reckon?
Yeah, potato. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mind you eat all your roots. sandstone, piece of leather, and this is our bracelet paper. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Smooth. They could probably use the same process on the bow.
Oh, I thought you might say that.
I'll give it a try anyway.
Hey. Your bow's useless without the arrows. I'm trying to use this very thin tool to widen the notch. I'm going to make some adhesive here to affix the arrowhead in place. The first thing I've got is some charcoal. I'm going to grind it up nice and fine. And now I've got the resin here that we collected. So that's close to the fire. So we can warm up. It's beginning to melt really nicely. And what I do now is start to mix that carefully in with the charcoal. The charcoal strengthens the resin. Without the charcoal, the resin, when it hardens, is very brittle. It's almost like glass, actually. Cools off very quickly. That's just the first fixing. What I need now is to bind that arrowhead in place and then apply some more glue. So I've got a really firm fixing. Now, our ancestors could have used a lot of different fibres for this purpose, but one of the things we know they did from the archaeological record, one of the fibres they used was this, the fibres from a stinging nettle. And that's what I'm going to use. That's the point fixed. Now for the fletchings. These are the leg tendons from a red deer. They can be turned into fine fibres, which I'm going to use to attach the fletchings on the arrows. But to produce these sinew fibres, I first have to pound them. Sinew fibres contain their own natural glue. Now I'm going to carry out a bit of an experiment. In Africa, I've seen the Hadza use the bulb of a plant. They chew it up and spit it onto the arrow shaft as a glue. And I've also come across references in Britain to bluebell bulbs having been used to make a similar glue. Now, these are poisonous, so I wouldn't recommend you do what I'm doing, but I'm going to chew a couple of these bulbs up and spit them on here and see if they act as a glue. I've got a good hunch that they will. Very sticky. Very much like what I've seen the Hadza using. It's really quite surprisingly sticky. Right. Let's see how we go on. The first one down on there. Pull that good and tight. Another bit of sinew for binding. Fiddly old business, this. Stick those in place. And at the top there. Definitely works. That's amazing. Feathers are magical things, you know. Amongst a lot of native people, they had tremendous